And good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another Reality Skewed Gamers Saturday morning Q&A show, Jedi Academy. What's the Jedi Academy, you may be asking? Well, that's where we just bring the best and the brightest of YouTubers, game changers, and sprinkle in a little bit of mental damage to kind of answer all your Star Wars Galaxy Heroes questions. And if you have a question, the way it works is go ahead and put the question in the chat. Make sure you put the word question in front of it so Dr. Finn can scoop it up, and we'll get it to our panelists and kind of discuss what's on your mind. Speaking of brain damaged individuals, Dr. Finn, Medicine Woman himself, is here today.
Question does begin with the letter Q.
That's right. You know what else starts with Q?
Quilt.
Yeah, that does start with Q. All right, so the next mentally damaged person we have is the one and only Grande Pappy Patron. The big deal.
What's up? What's up?
Now, Grande, are you in a good location with good Wi-Fi?
I decided to take a different route in my driving across the state of Texas for the 20,000th time. So we'll see.
Okay.
It's a new adventure.
All right. If I ask you a question, I get Mr. Roboto. We're going to first get you, then kill you. Also joining us is the one and only Warrior Presents, who is back after his hiatus into the mountains of Colorado, where he discovered himself one with nature and the Force.
What's happening, everybody?
Well,
how are you guys doing?
Welcome back. How was the trip?
Trip what?
You cut out there. What'd you say?
Trip to what? Four-wheeling? Camping?
Yeah, whatever you're doing. Yeah, whatever you're doing. You're out with the
four-wheeling camping. It was fun. It's relaxing. I went four-wheeling twice this last week. It's kind of my out. That's how I go and relax.
Dr. Finn eats Twinkies, so we're bringing differences together. Also joining us today, we got all the way up from Canada, the maple syrup lover herself, T Money G's here.
Good morning.
Howdy, howdy. How are you today, Miss T Money?
I'm good. Mm-hmm. Thanks for having me. I have like a lovely Saturday routine where I don't sleep in anymore. I come and hang out with you guys. Well, it's very productive.
That's what we do. We break you of those cycles, like sleep cycles. We're good at that.
Indeed.
And finally, joining us all the way from, where are you at now, man? You in Fort Campbell? Is that where you're at now?
Right. Yeah, I live in
Rockasans represent Mr. King Felix.
Take your Tory and shove it. But what is sleep? I'm wondering.
Well,
that's right.
Yeah,
the baby.
Yeah. I know what screaming is, but not sleep.
Poor thing.
Well, this is when you have a baby. You sleep when you're dead, King Felix.
I will attempt to do that unless they follow me.
Yes. So go ahead and get your questions in, guys. Dr. Finn will scoop them up, and we will get to them as soon as we can. He's watching the chat, monitoring everything, and we will start rock and rolling here in a few minutes. What happened in the old world of Star Wars Galaxy Heroes? Anything that perks anybody's mind? Anything anybody wants to talk about?
I'm glad Embo's here finally.
Yeah, we got Embo, so that was a big deal. Somebody playing ping pong? What's that noise?
It might be me clicking. I was gonna go put the link places. I will mute myself while I do that.
Okay. Link to what?
To the stream.
Oh, okay. I was just sort of like, what are you doing? T-Money.
What mischief are you getting up to, T-Money?
What are you doing? Whose week is it to watch her this week? Finn, did I tell you to put a bell around her neck or something? Jesus.
I tried. She bit me.
It's a really good idea, actually.
Oh my God, someone get the stick thing or something to keep her steady. Jesus. So we got Embo. We got, I don't know, what is everybody's thoughts on Embo? I think he's okay. I gave him a B overall score. I mean, not bad, but that didn't really blow me away. Any thoughts from anybody on old Embo there?
Well, Warrior did a great video on Embo, by the way.
He did do a great video.
I think that Imbo's going to be a great addition to the game. Solid, and bounty hunters are going to become a more and more viable faction the further along time goes. So I'm excited to see what all theory crafting goes into Embo and his capabilities. I've already seen videos of people running him as the lead arena and mopping up, CLS teams, JTR teams, Night Sister teams. So while he's not really there for the Trey meta, it just goes to show he's another piece to that puzzle.
Mm-hmm. I have a theory, Warrior. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it, that we're going to have two complete bounty hunter teams here soon when all is said and done, with one representing the Clone Wars and one representing the Empire. And the other two I think that are coming is Jango Fett and Aura Singh. What do you think about that?
I think it's pretty sound logic.
See, Finn, I told you I'm smart. You shut your dirty pie hole from now on. Warrior says I know what I'm talking about.
Didn't you have a story about how smart you were?
I do. Would you like to hear it again?
Is it going to be in Randy Newman's song?
No, I'm not doing Randy Newman today. We have to be serious with Jedi Academy.
Yeah, we've had enough Randy Newman for the last 3 days to last us a lifetime.
That's right. Finn can only laugh so much before his poor little head's going to explode.
I think I broke my funny bone.
Yeah, I think you broke something else.
I think Embo, by the way, I think he would be decent under a bounty hunter thing, but I do like his prospects under a Kira lead. I feel like Scoundrels are also kind of coming together a little bit with these bounty hunters, and Kira lead is just really good. So Kira, Enfys, Embo, maybe like a Zalbar and a Vandor Chewie. That was kind of the team that I was theory crafting, but it seems like it's a pretty neat team because attackers get protection recovery, and it increases their survival a bit. So Embo, while he's a little bit squishy on the health side, I mean, if you can build up his protection and start building that back up with Kira lead, I think it would be pretty neat.
So sound logic there, Finn. Once in a while, Dr. Finn messing with makes sense. Anybody else news of the week that kind of stood out to you that you want to hit on or touch upon before we start?
Mods and mod slicing. We got a short intro into mods. It was like really long but really cool. And I've reread that post about 5 times, trying to see what kind of information I can glean from it.
I know what I gleaned from it: a nosebleed and an aneurysm.
I think you're gleaning things improperly.
Well, I mean, it could be the meth and the cocaine combination that I'm doing, but I'm pretty sure it was reading that.
Probably a combination.
Yeah, thoughts, damaging
Don't
thoughts.
you say no to drugs, as Nancy Reagan says.
Well, yeah, she's. What does Nancy know? I mean, marijuana is awesome. All right, damn it. I'll give her some. I'll give her some credit for the other stuff, the hard stuff. That addictive stuff. All right. So the questions are coming in. Make sure you do put question in front of the thing so we know that it is a question, because sometimes it's kind of hard to tell. We use Nightbot. It doesn't scoop it up if it doesn't think it's a question. So we're scouring on there. So let's get into it. Team Money. Top Jimmy wants to know, Top Jimmy 33, what are the best defensive compositions for Night Sister teams in Territory Wars?
Well, I don't think that we've come up with the best one yet. There's a lot of guilds who are playing with this right now. And if you haven't already, join the Night Sisters Discord server. That's something that you can, if you go on Discord servers, there's a place for you to search the servers, and the Night Sister one is fantastic. I think the Night Sister fans in this game are the most avid and knowledgeable folks that there are, and so there's a bunch of combinations. Certainly, Night Sisters plus Nest, lots of guilds. We've seen that on lots of guilds. It makes Imperial Troopers difficult because those guys are completely dependent on turn meter gain. So you stop that with them, then they're just quite silly and slow. and they don't have cleanse, so that's an interesting one. But I think, I don't know, somebody posted something with Spirit the other day, and I just think that's such an underutilized toon. In Territory Wars, we can use her to take down a single standing toon like CLS or OG Crew. Somebody that you just can't let get away from you. You just need stuns, and you need to cut through their armor and kill them very fast, very quickly. So I think that I would love to see if someone could please come up with a combination involving Spirit, that'd be great. Well, I would love to get that toon.
Well, the problem I have with Spirit is that she's clear, she's green, and she oozes. It reminds me of a bad bacterial infection. That's why I don't like using her.
Is it bringing back memories, or?
No.
Sorry.
I read it in a book somewhere.
You brought that up.
He only had it twice, okay? Leave him alone.
That's right. Wait, no. Wait a minute. Well, I mean, I don't know what you're referring to.
But I do think there's a lot of creativity still to come with the Night Sister squad. We haven't seen anything really from Acolyte except there's some teams on offense and then Spirit, on offense. But I'm curious to see how these guys do on defense as well.
One thing I have noticed is some people will use a second tank with the main three, which is Taliesin, Asajj, and Oldaka, with Zombie, and then they throw in another tank on defense.
I see a lot.
General Kenobi is a really common one.
Which I think that's a mistake because General Kenobi does way better on offense with Xeris. But I mean, if it's what you want to do for your guild, maybe that's the position you're in. It's a strong contender. But yeah, I mean, really, Night Sisters are an offensive team, and they really are effective against a lot of teams that you can do really well against, especially the way people play a lot of defenses right now. So maybe think about what you can do with them on offense more than defense. All right, next question for Warrior. This is from Brygon Ruby, and the question is, does anybody else think that the huge influx of tunes is because they're planning on releasing a new Territory War map that might be larger? Ooh.
I think the huge influx of tunes is for one reason, and I'm just guessing here, but I've had a lot of conversations with him, and somebody might need to mute their mic.
T-Money, I swear.
So anyway,
King Felix,
they can build content, and it takes them a period of time to build content. So if they're building the Sith raid, or they're building the heroic AAT tank raid, or whatever, it takes like 6 months. So no joke. So I mean, it's not like something that they just craft in a couple weeks. People don't realize quite what this is like a team of 60 to 120 people working around the clock to try and make happen in 6 months. It's kind of a frantic situation for them, but they have to choose, right? They have to decide, what are we going to do? Are we going to build a raid, or are we going to fix things that people want us to fix? Well, the last thing they did was a Sith raid. The next thing after the Sith raid they went to tackle, which is taking them 6 months, is this mod situation. People don't realize that, but they've been working on this in some capacity for the last 6 months. And they're down to the nuts and bolts now. I mean, they're down to the wire. They're really trying to solidify this mod situation so they can release it and it be a very healthy and workable situation. So think of Mods 2.0 as a raid, because that's exactly the amount of time and effort they're putting into it. So what happens when you put all your energy and effort into the Sith raid? Or what happens when you put all your energy and effort into something like this Quality of Life Mods 2.0? Well, you don't really have time to do anything else in the game. But you can't just leave the game stale for 3 months and not have anything happen, because then people stop playing. So marquee events are a staple that they have learned that does a couple of things. One, it maintains profitability for the company through a period of time. And two, it's something new that comes in every so often that people can chew on and gives them something to focus on short term. It's not a fixed solution, it's a filler. And so when you see something like this, you got to know that, especially with the amount, that a couple of things. One, they didn't have anything else to release. And two, they were working hard on obviously something else, and that something else is Mods 2.0. So I hope that everybody, once they get mods 2.0, come to that level of appreciation like they would a new raid or like they would some new legendary event, because it's not always about new characters. I hear people all the time say, I wish they'd just fix this damn game before they added another character. Well, if you want that, then if you want that, then you got to get your mouth be quiet right now, because that's exactly what they're doing. They're fixing the game in a way that is a improvement. Mods weren't functional prior to this 2.0, and after 2.0, it's going to make it exceptionally easy for individuals to do their own modding in game. But I also think that they're going to scale back the marquee events, because I'm pretty sure they're kind of wrapping up this mods 2.0, and then they'll be focusing on another project, something else. There's a lot of different ideas that have been floating around for the last 2 years. So I don't think it necessarily has to do with another skin, but I don't think that another skin is far off, because that's something they can do relative ease without spending 6 months on, and it would be new content, and it wouldn't require them to spend 6 months developing. They could probably knock out a new skin in a month or two. So in the short term, having some sort of Geonosian territory war or whatever, or a Geonosian territory battle, something like that, and then doing a rework to go along with that would be something I could see probably within the next 2 to 3 months, prior to Darth Malak coming out in December.
Did someone say Malik? I heard something. I guess we broke up there. Alrighty then. So let's see. Next question for King Felix. This is from Ski Trooper. I'm not saying your whole name, buddy. Sorry. Question.
I'll say it.
I made noise over your pronunciation there. Question. I'm taking Biston starter and or Plo Kun max reinforcement from gear 11 to 12. Is it worth the resources? What do you think, King Felix?
So if ships is your thing, yes. If it's not, or if ships is a big part of your game, then maxing out pilots is the same thing as your arena team in squad arena. So yes, but if you're doing this to sit in the top 100, then it's not worth it. So if you're going to do this to make a push into top 5 when you're getting enough crystals every day to gear Biston and Plo, who are Biston has a little bit of usage in territory wars. Plo, not really, in my opinion, although with all the Jedi rework that we've gotten, and probably going to get some more from the Clone Wars, who knows, he might get a rework. But if it's just to sit in the top 100 on ships, don't do it. But, yay, ships, they're good and stuff, right? We love ships.
What? How dare you?
Do we love ships, or do we hate ships like me? Because I hate ships.
I am not a fan.
I love ships.
I love ships because I win. If I didn't have my geos right now, I think it would be a lot more difficult and a lot less enjoyable.
I was having much more fun when it was a 5-on-5 like every other part of this game. Yeah. That's just me.
Yeah, I'm with you there, Paisan. See, July 9, JLY9. Question for you, Grande Patron, are you there? Grande?
No, he dropped.
I'm here.
Wait, you're here? There he is.
Let's see, you have to make sure he's there, Dr. Finn, because you never know. Question, what does the stat tactics do for tunes?
What does the stat tactics do for tunes?
Yep.
So if you go into game, and you could see this for any character. So if you go in and you look at the character's stats and you look at tactics underneath the abilities, it'll actually give you a slight description. It'll tell you it increases physical damage, special damage, and resistance. So you could see that for any one of the items, it'll give you a small description next to the item. And typically you'll have characters that are high damage dealers will have a high tactics. So characters like Darth Treya, for example, Darth Treya, is easily over 1,000 in tactics because she does lots of physical damage, lots of special damage, and she has resistance to attack. So that's what tactics does.
Yep, I'm looking at that. Yep. Easy enough to see. All right, back to the top to Team Money G. This is from Daniel McCarthy. He says, "Hi all, love the show. Do you think a Rex Arena squad is still a safe investment?"
I need a little bit more information from you, but I mean, Rex will. One of my favorite things to say, because I feel like it's cool knowledge, is that the year before this last one, like the last celebration, George Lucas said Rex is a timeless character. He will always be part of the Star Wars universe, and I think that brings. I think that a lot of things in the Star Wars universe translate over into our game, and I think Rex is one of them. So Rex, you can still climb with Rex. Finity, are you still using your Rex team? Is that something you use every day?
Yeah, it's not super consistent, but yes, I can use it to beat Treya teams.
Yeah, so it will always kind of come and go, I think, as a meta team. However, if you're just starting out, maybe there's other ways that you can look ahead. I think there's still a little bit more time. I think we have to figure out the prepared squads a little bit more, but I think that the prepared squads now are like the Phoenix squads were, whatever it was, like 8 months ago, where that's what you're going to see in newer arenas. So it really depends what part of the game you are in. But if someone had one arena team, and then we're asking what's one other team that I can build for territory wars and all of the game modes, Rex is right at the top of that list. He's such a great and dynamic leader. You can put anybody under him, so it allows you to be really creative as well. Dark side, light side. So Rex is a great character.
Okay.
He hits like a wet noodle.
Not what he's there for.
Everything. His leader is just very, very simple and very good.
A more elegant character for a more simpler time. Next question for Warrior. This is from Doc Ariok. Question: chance of aura, and another CW bounty hunter than Padme Legendary for Jedi Knight Anakin Hero fall, possibly.
Well, we could speculate all day on everything, and I think your speculation was as sound as anybody's speculation. But I mean, I'm not a huge fan of speculation. That's why I don't do many speculation videos, because
there's he knows everything. Damn it! Quit asking weird stuff he already knows. He can't reveal top secret classified information. That's how people get hurt in this business. The interesting part of that is Padme Legendary or Jedi Knight Anakin Hero fall. I don't think I've given any indication that we're gonna have anything like that. I haven't had a sniff of that crap.
If you had the Clone Wars territory battle, Padme, she could be the reward.
Kind of like Leia was with.
There's a possibility, especially if they go with like General Grievous and some other Clone Wars era reworks and stuff, because it kind of folds in. I mean, there's some sound logic to what he's thinking, but it's also we're just speculating.
Yeah, but I don't think it'd be a legendary or a hero's fall with those two. But you never know. CG has surprised us in the past. All right, next question for What Else 73. We will go to King Felix. Question: when it comes to Zetas, where is the Bastila Zeta on your priority list?
Very high. I am a big fan of Bastila Zeta. I think she can turn even middling Jedi into arena viable characters. I climbed with Jedi Knight Anakin and Ayla under Bastila lead. Still struggle against some of the Treya teams when you run a full Jedi team. I know you can put Thrawn or Nihilus in there, but I kind of like keeping synergy together. I would say she's probably... It depends on where the rest of your Zetas are, but obviously you need the Sith Zetas, Treya, Palpatine, First Order is still a great Zeta because they're a territory war staple. They do pretty good in the Sith raid. Imperial Troopers, you need to Zeta, well, should Zeta for territory battles. But for arena Zetas, I think she's top 3 behind Palpatine and Traya. And if you haven't already done Bastila, then you should probably get on that because she's going to be farmable in a few weeks now. And
she's farmable now out of the
shipments. Yeah, I mean off of a node. And she's a great character, and you never know what other Old Republic stuff we're gonna get.
Yep.
So, very high on Bastila.
Yeah. All right. Next question for Grande Babyface Patron. This is from Scooby, not Scobby, as you said. No, you called him Snoopy. Never mind. My Alta is running Tarkin and Fleet. Should I double Zeta crew then drop a Zeta on Tarkin? Or do cruise lead, then Tarkin? Grande Pappy Patron. He who shall be named Grande Pappy Patron.
He has a little pause icon, so I think he might have gotten a phone call.
Fail. All right, we'll go to Team Money on that question. Let me read to you again. Their Team Money.
Mm-hmm.
My alt is running a Tarkin and Fleet. Should I double Zeta crew then drop a Zeta on Tarkin, or do I do cruise lead then Tarkin?
I don't believe in Zeta-ing tunes for Fleet at all. I don't know. I think there's enough turn meter manipulation within like our repertoire of ship abilities that you can get around that one extra speed. I don't think a Zeta is worth it. And though I am curious about using Tarkin Zeta, I really do like him as a tune. I think we're going to see more of him. I don't Zeta for Fleet, certainly not. You can get max out Reaper's abilities, and then you have massive turn meter reductions and manipulations there. So I love Cruz Zetas. I think that he's great. I think he is. I do think that he, if you're smart with him, if you dedicate your mods to him, I think that he's even arena viable. And he is fantastic in territory wars still. Everybody has him on defense. I think that he's also great on offense. As we get more teams and more tunes, we're going to see a lot more dynamic defenses being set because there are so many more options for us to set defenses. My guild's just like, we want 35 a zone back right now because we're so used to having nothing on offense, and so we have to make sure our offense is clean. We usually just struggle through and I say down to the last Chewy guys, and we push through, but now we have so much offense that that your defense becomes much more flexible. So I would say crew would definitely be my priority there.
All right. Grande, are you back yet? Phil?
I'm here.
Okay, we have a question. I have a question for you from It Poops Bombs. And his question is, I saw Kier lead Zalbar, Vandor Chewy, L3, and Emphas, all 7 stars in Gear 12 in the top 20 of my arena shard. Is this the team I should be afraid of?
So it's a different puzzle, right? I think that Affinity kind of alluded to it earlier, right? That Emphas under Akira lead is great because Emphas even gets more protection back under Kira. And I think that team, it also kind of stops your turn meter, and it does, and so a lot of those characters get some extra oomph under that Kira lead. Do I think it's going to be a team that everybody's going to go to in arena? Absolutely not. Do I think it's going to be hard for you to beat the first few times? Yeah, I do. But if you're running a team that gets to go first, like a Bastila team, or if you're running a team that has Triumvirate on it and you can annihilate with Nihilus, I don't think you're going to have any problems. But it is a very good team. It is arena viable on offense. and it's definitely TW viable.
All right. Next question. We will go to Boyer with the next question. Nathaniel Miller says, question. I'll have young Han to 7 stars tomorrow. Where's a good place to use him? He put her, but that's wrong. It's him. Ray, territory battles, your thoughts?
In territory battles, specifically?
Just in general, where's young Han 7 stars good to use? I mean, where are some spots that we can use him at?
So first off, let's start with the lower content. We'll move our way through. First, let's go to raids. He stacks damage, so he's super fun as just something different for Rancor. For the heroic AAT, he stacks just like Wampa, and just like he just doesn't do quite as good as Wampa, but he can clear a couple of phases. He could clear phase 3 and most of phase 4. So that's just kind of a fun variant, and you can put him under CLS if you want or whatever. And he, just like you normally do, or Akbar, or whoever your team is for Sith Raid, he does stacking damage. So I know a lot of people use him in P2 with a Scoundrels team, but I mean, Scoundrels can be used in lots of different spots. But P2 is where I've seen most people using their Scoundrels. So that's a great place for him to stack damage. He's given the time needed in that phase 2 to actually stack the damage he needs to stack to actually be worthwhile. So, I mean, there's lots of other places in the raids, but that's there. And then you move to other PvE content and territory wars. He's great under a cure lead on defense. The thing about prepared, the thing about certain teams is it depends on whether the AI plays the characters correctly or not. And prepared squads, the AI plays them pretty damn good in comparison to some other teams. So that's why they're so good. In fact, I believe right now, because not a lot of people know a whole lot about prepared, it's kind of convoluted. You got to memorize, 16 caveats on the team and try to remember every caveat while you're playing to remember exactly which one has prepared and which one doesn't, and which one gets this when he has that, and this one has a unique that affects that one. And so it's actually almost played more efficiently right now because of people's knowledge base. Because once you play with a team over and over and over, you learn all those caveats yourself, and it's no big deal. But until you play them every day, the AI is going to play them a whole lot better. So on territory wars, defense under Kira, that's great. And then also territory battles, he's awesome for stacking damage. By the end of it, I mean, he's one-shotting fools in round 6. So he's definitely one of those plug and plays. You obviously can put with anyone, but he's just that unknown character you're probably not using a whole lot, but will do just fine. And yeah, they made him a relatively easy farm. I've had him for 7 stars now for a while, for I don't know, a few weeks at least, because they put him, in an easy to get location. So definitely someone that if people are looking for a tune that does everything I just described, would be a great tune to do that.
All right. Next question for King Felix from BSP. Question: I just finished the reinforcement abilities for the 2 Phoenix ships. I have all ships unlocked except the Episode 9 Falcon. Which other reinforcements do you recommend?
So, one of my favorite reinforcement abilities is Cassian's U-Wing. Once you get maxed out, it dispels all the buffs on the playing field for the other team, which is extremely nice. The thing on this, it initially just removes whoever you're targeted. But once you max it all the way out, it removes all the buffs, which can really help turn a battle around if you're struggling. The other one would be the Gauntlet Starfighter, because that kind of does the opposite, where it cleanses your team and then... his reinforcement ability doesn't cleanse, but he gives you protection up, and then as soon as he comes in, you can cleanse and heal the whole team. I know Warrior is a fan of Plo Koon's reinforcement ability, which is a massive heal. I think those are the ones I'd recommend the most. Yeah, because Phantom is the best reinforcement ability right now. I don't know if there's any other ones. Like I said, I hate ships. Maybe Lando's Falcon once you can get it farmable, but have fun waiting for that.
Yeah. All right. Ronnie, you there, buddy?
I'm here.
All right, this is a question from Doc Ariok. Question: if I level the blue mod to 15 once the update happens, will I still have 2 additional secondary upgrades? That part still confuses me.
Okay, so the answer is yes, you will still have 2 upgrades. The difference between how mods currently work and how mods will work after the update is you will see all 4 secondary stats. So at level 3, you'll see a 3rd stat. At level 6, you'll see a 4th stat. And then at level 9 and level 12, it will upgrade 1 each at level 9 and once again at level 12 of any of the 4 stats that you see. So that's how it's going to work. So you'll still get the 2 upgrades, but the 2 upgrades will happen at the back end instead of at the front end.
All right, there we go. All right, next question from Captain Blackbeard. Question for T-Money. T-Money G, which is better for TW? Bastila offense or defense? T-Money?
Oh, you couldn't hear my pirate voice. It was really good.
That's why I've been talking like a pirate.
I said, that's a great question, lad. It is a great question, and I think we're still figuring that out. How I think of it is right now with regards to the balance between offense and defense is in the flexibility of a team. So we're in the midst of a rock, scissors, paper meta where, Treya under EP beats Treya lead beats and holds against Bastila, and Bastila beats everything else. So I think that so there's that. She's so dynamic on offense that I think she's a fantastic tune to have in your pocket on offense if you're a guild that is really offense focused. If you're really defense focused, well, there's only a certain number of teams that can bring her down cleanly and dependably. Rey is a great counter to her, but Rey's a great counter to everyone. And if you want to have Rey on defense, then you really don't have anything in your pocket for Bastila. It's going to take it down super reliably. I mean, I'm sure people have come up with other counters, but for me, that's the main team that I practice in arena against Bastila to make sure that I know how to take her down. So I think that it depends on your guild and your strategic focus in territory wars. And if you don't have one, well, I do think that that there is a 2 split, and there's probably other ways, but you're either an offensively focused guild for TW, or you're a defensively focused one. If you're a defensively focused one, then Bastila is fantastic on D, and likewise, if you're putting a lighter defense on, then she's one that you're going to want to hold for offense because she's so flexible. You can just come into a zone, and as long as it's not Treya lead, well, Bastila is probably going to be able to take them down.
All right, very nice. All right, next question specifically for Warrior from Top Jimmy 33. Question for Warrior. If you put CLS on defense in territory wars, what's the best composition? Raidhan seems too valuable on offense.
Yeah, I totally agree. Raidhan is that one tune that you better keep on offense because he can change the course of any battle in territory wars. Because these compositions aren't traditional arena team comps. And so they have everything to do with the synergies that they're providing. So, for example, First Order, they get extra bonuses from territory wars, and if you're able to, stun their crew or First Order officer before they go, you throw off their entire synergistic start. Han Solo offense. There's no secret there. I'm not sharing any TI secrets. That's just smart gameplay. With CLS, what's the best? That's a really tough question because I have no idea what you have, and there's 42 rebels in the game or whatever. So it could be a plethora of things, but I think a go-to staple for a lot of people is Chirrut and Baze with CLS because Chirrut and Baze, he's got burst damage, tenacity up, cleanse. Baze has 2 different dispels. AoE damage with Empire, so if they bring an Empire to try and kill your rebels, that's a trouble. The CLS is a counter meta, and I've seen a lot of people kind of put characters, just lots of variants for those other 2 slots, such as Old Ben and CHS, Captain Han Solo. So you got another tank to have to deal with or contend with, and CHS bringing everybody back constantly and reviving health and protection. Super irritating on kind of the mid game for like teams that are like 120 GP to 80 million GP. That team's a solid defensive team, and will definitely take a semi-meta team to take down. And if they don't, then you're gonna stack up some defenses. But I've seen people use, for CLS, use hybrid Rogue One teams. I've seen them use hybrid. When I say hybrid, I mean like using like K2SO or Scarifable Pathfinder with Cassian. I mean, like there's synergy within each kind of sub faction. So it's just depends on what you have as to what. But 5 rebels underneath CLS is the team you'd want to do. It's just a matter of what you have available. But Shirt and Baze is kind of a go-to.
There you go. Let's see here. Next question for King Felix. This is from SWGOH. Question: do you think we'll ever have in guild competition, i.e., having a leaderboard of territory war defense / raid damage, or even fighting each other's arena teams for bragging rights or titles?
I really hope so. Even if the rewards are just allied points or 100 guild currency, I think it would be very fun for a guild to have an in-game competition, and nothing that takes crazy long either. Maybe just an in-guild arena would be fun. Like I said, you don't even need crazy rewards. I think people in their guilds really want to go up against each other and see who's better, because it's not often that you're going to be in the same guild as someone on your arena shard, and obviously you're not going to fight them in territory wars because they're in your own guild. But I think that's what a lot of people were hoping for with sandbox mode, so they could just fight each other and make bets over Discord about who's gonna win, and then somebody sends that person a bottle of whiskey, something like that. But it seems like they've been reluctant to put time into a sandbox mode. That's saying that from the outside, because obviously I have no insider information. But then again, as Warrior said earlier, it takes them plenty of time to do these other things for the game, i.e. mod management, territory wars, territory battles, Sith raid fixes. I would hope that eventually they can do some in-guild competition. I don't think a leaderboard for raids would be the best, because there's a lot of people like myself that don't have a ton of time to do the raids. I think an in-guild arena would be extremely fun. And you don't even really need a payout time either, because you're just going to be fighting the other teams. Or even if they did an in-game betting system, I bet you, let's wager 100 crystals on this match, and each person puts in 100 crystals, and the winner takes the other one's crystals or something like that. I think that would be quite fun.
All right. Next question for Grande. This is from Daniel McCarthy. Question: hi, I'm 110 out of 145 on Wampa and 16 out of 145 on Hermit Yoda. Should I switch to farming Hermit Yoda to jump on the Basilisk train, or stick with Wampa? Currently, I'm running Emperor Palpatine, Darth Sion, Darth Nihilus, Vader, and Thrawn. No Trey yet.
So, you're going to end up wanting to finish both of them. And it sounds
Oh no.
like you're
Robo Grande.
We've turned Grande slow.
Is it better now or no?
Yes, it's better now.
Okay. Finish Wampa, go to Hermit Yoda, based on your dark side tendencies in Arena.
All right. Next question from good old Maurice. From back to the top to T-Money. It's from good old Maurice, T-Money. And he's got a question that says, could you explain the defensive penetration mechanic?
Jerk. No, Warrior, can you explain the defensive penetration mechanic?
Does anybody know anything about penetration here?
Penetration nullifies the opponent's defense statistics. So if it has 100% defense penetration, it nullifies 100% of their defense that they have on their stats. So if they've got 345 defense, they now have a 0 instead of 345.
Ah. You didn't know that about penetration, T-Money?
No, well, we've been playing with the statistics, and that's a question that he calculated out a bunch of this like post mod changes statistics for some of the tunes, and that was something that we didn't know. So I was not the person to answer that question.
You just didn't want to answer the question. Just say you didn't
Problem
want to.
Flat stats and percentage stats, and there's 2 different kinds of armor because there's different kinds of damage, and each damage, like resistance goes against special and armor goes against physical. They kind of made it convoluted unnecessarily. So I'm hoping, I don't know if they'll be willing, but I'm hoping to do an entire series where I actually tackle one stat and the counter stat and then explain, kind of like I did potency and tenacity. And that video, I want to do a video on every stat and its counter stat and how they interact, and then talk to a dev in detail about it, get the best layman's explanation for each one, and then come out with a video series on that. That's actually something I'm like wanting to do over the next 60 days. So hopefully I can have something out there that clears it up so it's not quite muddy like it is now.
That would be fantastic. Please, please do that, because it's super muddy right now. Like because it's dynamic and we love that about it. But it would be nice to have that explained somewhere. It's kind of strange that it's not.
It's just the new math team, and I don't know why you don't know this. I mean. All right, next question for Warrior from Vigilant Sentinel. Question: in your opinion, what's more important, gearing up Sign for territory wars or focusing on gearing my Imperial troopers?
Wow, one character or a bunch of characters? I'd take a bunch of characters if it was my choice.
But usually Sign's for arena for a lot of teams. What if it was for Sign for arena?
Well, that wasn't the question, was it?
I know, but I'm just kind of thinking, like, how do you differentiate, True. I guess it depends. Are you going to Zeta Scion? And if you did Zeta Scion, then you need to be a man of target, and you need to focus on it and knock him out, and then you can go focus on the next faction. But if you haven't Zeta'd him yet, I would actually knock out the entire faction if you think that's the equivalency to Scion. I don't think Scion's as bad as an entire faction, but I mean, it is easier to focus on one character versus 5. So I don't know. I've just effectively given you multiple answers. Yes. Hope that helps. Thanks,
I have a question for myself. Why does Embo require so many damn Mark 9 Fabritech data pads? I'm literally just got him to Gear 11, and this is the 5th Fabritech data pad Mark 9 that he needs. Gold.
They
9.
do that with some of these characters.
He needs 3 of them on Gear 11. 3 of them. In Gear 10, 1 in Gear 12.
Well, it's like Cassian. Cassian had, 3, just from Gear 10 to 11, 3 black ball sets. You're just like, what? Wait, what? What the? They do that on certain characters where it's like, you need 3 of those, same type. Now, some are for a larger set piece, right? There's one that always has a large set piece, and then they'll throw 2 that's like, you need these 2 as well on those. It's like,
it has to mean that he's going to be a massive damage dealer because, that's what it affects. His critical chance rating, physical damage. You know what I mean? So it's got to be why they put it in there, because he's an attacker. So it better equate to, 60,000 damage is what it better mean.
Word. Next question for King Felix. This is kind of one for everybody. We'll start with you, King Felix, because we were talking about this week as well. From What Else 73, question: was Basil and Jolie going to pack so quickly a sign of change for future Marquee, or just a one-time thing, perhaps?
So I noticed that too, and it seems to be happening more and more. And maybe somebody can check me, because I'm pretty sure they went to shipments the day their pack expired.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure. Was it before then?
Yeah.
Okay, so. But I think it's expired now, so it's within a day of the pack. So they're doing it at 30 days straight to shipments. And I was thinking about this last night. You're gonna stop. People aren't gonna buy those $12.99 packs anymore. They're gonna wait 30 days and then buy them out of shipments because it's like 40% cheaper to just do it that way.
Right.
Than getting the pack 37 times or whatever it equates out to be. But I'm interested to see. I think the next ones coming up are Mission and Zelbar, and I'm interested to see if it follows the same pattern as.
Well,
as
if they do that pattern, something's coming.
Oh, for sure.
Because they're going to go free to play pretty quickly because they're going to try to not make that mistake for some marquee event. And I'm pretty sure, as Warrior has stated, it's going to be Malik in December, and then we're going to get Revan in March.
For your Christmas present.
Well, if they're doing it this quickly, I don't even think it's going to wait till December.
Maybe. I mean, you could be right about that. I mean, it was a shock.
That's like the fastest I've ever seen them go to shipments.
I know. Before their packs were even done, I was just like, I thought someone was messing with me. Actually, I thought Finn was messing with me when he told me that. I'm like, ha ha ha, Finn, yeah, shut up. And then I was like, oh, well, my apologies.
I'm not trying to throw Warrior under the bus, but I watched his video on the update, and he said shard shop instead of shipments, and you made me rethink my entire life in the span of like 30 seconds because I went to check shard shop how much I had allied points to buy these bronziums, and I was panicking until I reread the update for myself.
Yeah, it was a misspeak. It was actually on the screen. If you were staring at the screen, you would have seen that it was a misspeak. But yeah, it says shard shuffle. They're in shipments, so try and say that 5 times fast, right? So yeah, it was just a misspeak on my part. She went into shipments, but it said shard shuffle. She went into shipments, so it's like okay, yeah, it was a misspeak. She didn't go into shard shop. She went into shipments.
I was driving home and I was like about to pull over and check this update because I needed to know if Bastila was going to the shard shop.
All right. Next question for Grande, the Brown Gandalf. This is from Tim Beddard. He says, good morning. First off, good morning from Spaceman Tim. Which unique is a better Zeta for Rena? Scion or Papa Palps? Grande.
Can you repeat the question? I didn't hear it.
Yes. When are you getting a hearing aid and better internet connection?
I'm always.
That's not the goddamn question. Pay attention, young man. Tim Beddard. He says, question.
Okay, go ahead.
He said, first off, good morning from Spaceman Tim. And then his question is, which unique is a better Zeta for Rena? Scion or Papa Palps?
Oh, it's Scion, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Scion is the better one. The Palpatine unique, where you get the max bonus protection, only really works if you have a way to refill his protection, and so that means you kind of have to run Thrawn on that team as being one of the only ways to refill his protection. However, if you run Scion, and we look at Scion's unique. Scion's unique is Lord of Pain, and this is at the end of each of his turn, he puts more pain on the enemy, and that means he gets to his hell by hatred a little bit quicker. He gets to his 15 turn cooldown quicker, which means he's not killable or much harder to kill, I would say. And so, without a doubt, for survivability of the team, I would go for our unique over Palpatine's unique.
All right.
I'll just insert too, just to be fair, Crackling Doom isn't totally worthless. It's additional 50% protection, max protection. That includes the moment the battle starts. So if he has 30,000 protection, because you stack protection on him, now has 45,000 protection at the start of battle, and that 45,000 makes him a whole more durable. It won't regenerate. Overall protection.
What the hell?
Right at the very beginning of.
Grande is contagious. That's what's happening.
Yeah, not Warriors. God damn it, Grande, you spread your virus to Warrior.
Sorry about that.
Robots are taking over the world.
It's not me. That's him for sure.
I will tell you. I mean, if you're going to run them both in arena for a long time, yeah, both of them, right? But if we're just talking about one over the other today, and you run both in arena, I would say Scion over Palpatine.
All right.
Totally.
Let's see here. Next question for Team Money G from Vigilant Sentinel. When do you think the next JTR event will be? Oh yeah, that's coming around the corner. What is the damn? I don't even know that.
I think we know the BB-8. Pardon me. BB-8 is mid-August. I can't remember if it's the 18th or if it's today that it starts. I'm sorry. And then usually JTR follows closely after that. Am I right about that?
A few days after that, right? Like 3 or 4 days after that.
Yeah, usually.
Do we have a mythic yet on that one? I don't think. Do we? I don't know if we do.
Yoda is out right now. I think it's next week is BB-8.
Right.
I'm just going to run and check the calendar here and see.
Mm-hmm.
Might take me a minute. But...
Recently, they've been overlapping on time as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's because usually the BB-8 event will run a week, but then somewhere during that week, like midweek of that first BB-8 event, they'll launch the JTR event. If I'm not mistaken.
So here's the thing, and it's always possible that they change the cadence.
Oh, sure.
But they said that the cadence for Journey events was going to be 3 to 4 months. Right now, we're within 2 months. So more likely than not, Jedi Training Rey is not coming with this BB-8 release. Again, it's possible that they change it, but it's possible, but more likely than not, Jedi Training Rey will not come. They do generally release them at the same time, which means that if you're looking at it in terms of that time frame of 3 to 4 months, BB-8 is coming back after 2 months. Coming back within 1 month is probably going to be too soon. And so BB-8 will probably return again in October, and that's when Jedi Training Rey will return. In the month of June, R2 and CLS also returned, and they're not coming this month, which means more likely than not next month, September, will be a CLS and R2 month, and October will be your BB-8 and Jedi Training Rey month.
Then December will be Malak, and then March of next year will be Revan. See
go.
how it works? See, that's science.
Or May the 4th, maybe, for Revan.
Or April Fools for Ranger.
Shut up, Finn.
Joke.
Let's see, next question for Warrior from Nathaniel Miller. Question for Warrior. Why are they changing the upgrade order for mod secondaries? Why didn't they just make it so slicing can only be done to level 15 mods? They already made it 5 dot. What's one more requisite?
Well, because they have to be fair to the player base, and they've got to respect the investment of the people who actually spent money on mods. You haven't spent anything, then what do you care? But if you spend something, you have a huge vested interest in it being fair once 2.0 goes out. So they built it in a way that would be fair for everybody, because what slicing does is it allows you to add additional stats you wouldn't otherwise have gotten in the old system with the new system, basically equalizing and making fair all of the mods. And so in the old system, you had blue mod that had 2 stats that increased, and moving forward, once this new system's implemented, the system has to be fair in a way that it still respects those old investments. And so for anybody that gets a blue mod moving forward, it's going to get the stats first shown, then the rolls, so that way the statistical roll on the first roll will be 25%, just like it will be, and it'll be the same for everybody across the board now for those roll-ups. So it's just a way of kind of honoring the investment, because before, it was a whole lot harder to get. Side note, if you're a new player and you're just getting into mods, like, it's half as much as it was, and they're way more accessible, and there's a store and everything that you can get them out of. I mean, there's really no reason to not have a good selection, a decent selection of mods at this point in the game. But yeah, that's why they did that. They just want to respect those individuals who, there are people that have spent $20,000 on mods. I'm not even joking, some more. So to just nullify potentially all of their investment would not be productive for the studio.
Wouldn't be prudent at this juncture. Let's see here. Next question for King Felix from good old Maurice. Question: post update, will health be more desirable than protection? King Felix?
Yeah, so I'm reading it just so I can.
And the baby has some thoughts on this too. So put the baby on King Felix while you do your research, and let's get their input.
Come here, Ronnie. Come here.
Baby, what are your thoughts?
Ronnie, say hi.
Hi, babe.
So I don't know if it'll be more desirable than protection. They obviously think protection is good enough on its own because it's only getting, I think, a 0.5% increase on the primary for the circle. But I do think they're going to try and make healers a little bit more valuable in the game,
Babe.
as they did with, right, Munchkin? That's right. As they did with the Sith Raid, they tried to give healers some bonuses. I don't really think it really helped Luminara all that much like they thought. But with the Jedi coming back up, there's lots of Jedi healers. So maybe that'll be something to look into. But it's all going to change when this mod update actually comes out, because I have no clue how it's going to do in the game.
Babe.
Your baby's saying bigs a lot. I think
Yeah. She calls everybody whatever my wife calls them. So I'm Babe. Her parents are Mom and Dad. So
Okay.
That's freaking adorable.
Truly wonderful, the mind of a child. That's right. Grandi is a poopy head.
watch dinosaurs. I'm gonna go put on Jurassic Park. I'll be right back.
Oh. Let's see here. Next question for Grandi Patron. This is from Sean Davis, Grandi, and his question is, what is the best Rex-led team for Arena against Palpatines?
I'm here. Hold on.
Oh.
It's always an adventure.
It really is.
I'm telling you.
What floor did you get off on?
I mean,
if you even knew what the hell? If you even knew where I was right now.
You're in BFE,
anyway.
Texas. We know.
It's San Angelo. I had to get fuel. Okay, so the best Rex-led team against EP is depending on who all they have on the EP team. I still think it's hard to beat Rex, CLS, OG Han, Thrawn, and GK. Some other teams would be like Rex, Wampa, Mother Towson, OG Han, and GK. There are some teams like that still seem to be doing very well and sticking in the top 20 of my arena, even fighting against some Treyas, some fairly weak Treyas. They seem to do well. So you're gonna run a team kind of like that. I'm sure there are some other comps in there you can kind of swap in and out and mix and match as you want between those two teams. But that's where I would go.
All right. Back to the top to Team Money. Tim Beddard has a question, Team Money. And the question is, why isn't Nest farmable yet?
Did Nest come out before or after Kira? You guys have just alluded to this. There's like a little mystery going on with the release cadence right now.
I want to say she was after, right, Kira? Because I think Kira it was Han and Chewie first, right? Then Kira, then Nest, I believe, right? Am I missing that?
I think that's right.
I mean, so I know I have brain damage, but let's go with that.
I think her time just hasn't quite come. You know, they gifted us with a lovely, lovely Cantina node for Kira, so that's amazing. I don't often say, "Hey guys, let's farm this," but I'm definitely saying, "Let's farm Kira." She's a very underrated toon. She will come. This is my crystal ball time. I think she will see her time in the sun very soon.
Yeah, future readings with Team Money.
Indeed. I think that Nest, I think that if you can save your crystals and buy her out of the store, that is a very wise thing to do. She is going to be on a hard node. There's just no doubt in my mind. If she's not, that is a huge gift to us and fun. But I imagine she's going to be on a hard node just because so many people invested a lot of money into her. And so if you can save your crystals and try and buy it out of the store, it does happen quite quickly. Like you can get 16 for 1280. You can get 16 every second day if you're placing high in arena. Both arenas, and I do suggest people do that, and I don't for many tunes. So I do think that Nest is worth it there. I think that farming it out of a hard node, you're going to shed some tears because you're going to be doing that 6 months from now and not have her at 7 stars if you currently have her only at 3 or 4. Exactly.
What else?
Let it all out. Let it all out. Huh?
Yeah, what else are you seeing for the future, Team Money?
I have a few that are so deep and dark that I can't quite say them aloud yet. Maybe next week.
No, we want to know what the spirits are saying. Give us at least one. No. Don't be a tease.
Well, I think that, I don't know, L3, we did a video on L3 this week, and she is such a cool droid. I love her. I have geared her, and I'm just waiting with the Zeta on her. I'm not completely sure about her Zeta, but I'm like 80-90% that I'm going to do hers next, and then 88 after that. But she is a fantastic toon. She's a sleeper toon, and just such a neat character. I think she's such a neat character in the universe as well. Grande got some huge points when he said that he sat in the movie and thought of me the whole time L3 was on the screen.
She's like your soul sister. She is like your
totally
soul sister in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, and in that movie, I'm like, oh look, it's Team Money.
I didn't really get that vibe. Yeah, I get more of a hippie vibe from Team Money. No, it's not.
For the droids, man. I love the name of her.
I'm telling you. The swagger and the liberation for all. I was like, it's T freaking Money.
You haven't seen me mouth off in the Territory Wars server. I get like my indignant self on like, and I just like
I was like, for all. Money as a character, straight up.
Yeah, exactly. That is all.
All right. Let's see here. Next question for Warrior. This is from good old Maurice. Question: once you get 7-star Treya, should you take your foot off the gas for the guild? If yes, do you do it all the way out of the top 10?
So this is a trick question, good old Maurice. Shame on you for tricking me.
Punch him in the face, Warrior.
It's not going to trick me on this one.
It's not a trick question though, because he places in the top 3, and I saw a post from his guild, and he's not right now. So I'm very curious what you have to say about that.
Yeah.
Because he has 7-star.
In the past, I would have an answer, and today I have a different answer. But in the past, I would say yes, of course, because you have the 7-star character, and that's the reward that matters because it's equal rewards for everybody else with relativeness. And so, yeah, why not step down? When I joined Team Instinct at the very beginning, they found out I joined, and I was the only one that didn't have like a Han Solo. So they all let me take first, and I wasn't even able to solo it when I first got into Team Instinct. I was doing crap damage, and they were all like sandbagging so I could get first and get all the the highest end rewards. And that was really sweet of them, and that was a thing. Even in the heroic AAT, that was a thing. The problem is in the Sith raid, they have built the reward structure that if you're in the top 3, or even the top 5, but specifically the top 3, you get just ridiculous rewards. I mean, I have a guy in my guild that's got like 14 pieces of Gear 12 Plus. I have 1. And I can do 10 million in the Sith raid, and I've got 1. So, I can do more. I just choose not to. I actually don't play this at rate a ton. But it's one of those things where what you're asking them to do is not only step down and give up Treya shards, but you're asking them to give up their competitive advantage. And these people who are placing in the top 3 have this is probably their favorite mode, and this is what they've invested all of their money into, was to getting these teams prepped and ready to go to earn those greatest rewards, so that way they could have a reciprocal relationship. For example, best analogy I can give is I invest in Arena and my Arena team, and Arena pays me out crystals. That would be like asking me to step down to 5th place and not really get 200 crystals versus 500 every day for the good of the team. I'd say, compete with me. Sorry, I mean, it's a lot of crystals. It's free money. I'm not going to give that up. And the same is true with those rewards and so this is the thing. I would not tell someone to step down. In fact, everyone that places in the top in the guild, the only purpose for them to do it would be for like a 1-time or maybe a 2-time thing right before territory war. So if I know that so-and-so, if let's say I get number 1 all the time, and these top 3 people always get top 3, but they know there's 3 other people in the guild that are like 7 away from getting a 7-star, well, it's going to help us in the next territory war. Let's step down once and let them take that spot, and then they get their 7-star, and the whole guild benefits, and it's only a 1-time sacrifice. But a permanent step down until the whole guild gets 7-star, not a chance in hell, not anymore. Not with the way they built the reward structure. And I know that sounds selfish, and I'm not even one of those people. I don't get to be one of those people because I don't spend enough time in the raids to ever be a top 5 contender. And Team Instinct's Bravo, there's just no way in hell. So yeah, I absolutely wouldn't suggest that now. That's why I think they need to relook at the raid reward structure. It's always been on the top priority list for me because, I mean, the choice is, do I leave Team Instinct so I can go to a guild that I can get number 1 every time and I start rolling in this crazy Gear 12 Plus, or do I stay in Team Instinct and I get totally stunted? And, my choice has been so far to stay in Team Instinct Bravo and get stunted in growth. But it's tough because I got lots of people in my leaderboard that are way stacked on Gear 12 Plus, and it's harder and harder to compete with them in Arena because I'm falling behind because I'm in a higher end guild than they are. So it's a mess, and I really wish they would take a look at it. And I know all the whales out there who are listening to me know exactly what I'm saying and can 100% concur with my assessment.
It's science. It's some science right there. Let's see. Next question from Kobe1 for King Felix. What's the best team to use Visa's Martin Territory Wars?
I'm a big fan of putting her with JTR in Territory Wars, but she's an amazingly good plug-and-play character. So she's one of those that I kind of keep in reserve to help with maybe a lower-end team. I'll use 2 or 3 not-so-good characters and then 2, really good characters to try and even out even out the team so that my roster gets spread further. JTR is a good one. I think she goes very well against anything, obviously anti-Sith. That's what she goes for. Anything that maybe requires a heal. I think her defense penetration up is a great buff. She gives the health steal. Lots of penetration. Also like throwing on a General Kenobi team every once in a while, because then if you General Kenobi, her and Barriss, she's kind of, Barriss, Mar, and Hermit Yoda are the 3 probably best healers. I don't think I'm forgetting anyone in the game. So I try and spread those out to help really deepen my roster in Territory Wars and get some extra wins that you might not if you stack a team with 5 of the best characters in the game. When you're facing the lesser walls, you try and spread it out. I'll throw her on Rex Wampa teams as well, since I usually use that for Palpatine. But it kind of goes with what you're using on offense and what you have on defense.
There you go. Next question for Grande, the Brown Gandalf Patron, the French tickler. From Dash Rendar, question. I'm sitting on a Zeta. Should I use it per business as usual, or should I wait a few weeks to see potential Cad Bane reworks since mine is almost maxed? Zetas.
So unless you need a Zeta for your arena team, it's not the end of the world to hold on to one for a little bit. If you're indecisive about which Zeta to which character to Zeta, I think it's totally fine to hold on to one and possibly even two for a little while until the decisions become clearer for you. So yeah, it's not gonna hurt. It's not gonna hurt anything to hold on to it for a week or two. Yeah,
I hope you didn't kill anyone I know for it. Huh?
Wait, what the hell? I heard the jingle. Eric Seymour just donated $3. It says, shout out to Warrior, Hookers, and Blow. That we'll see. Don't worry. Warrior will be part of our strategy of the Hookers and Blow. Warrior, I know you know this, but our strategy is to become filthy rich one day, have a mansion, have everybody from the community hang out. Hookers and Blow for everyone. See, Warrior's so stunned.
I don't know. Warrior's a Hookers and Blow kind of guy.
He's not. He's got an awesome family.
Yeah. So yeah.
Gonna need those
maybe metaphoric Hookers and Blow.
We will have the kids section with Barney and all that other crap.
No, Twinkies and pork. That's my section.
Oh yeah, we'll dress Finn as a clown and we'll have like a trampoline and stuff.
I do like eating pork.
Pulled pork.
Tasty meal.
You're not allowed.
What? You bet his sweet ass. He served our country, Finn. He's always welcome.
He can stay on your side. He's not coming to the kid side.
Well, I'll have Tits and Loki and Warrior and Grande and.
I'll have my Twinkies and my pork, and that's it.
Me, I can't be around Twinkies.
Yeah. So, T-Money, you come hang out with us.
Why?
Because they're too good.
Oh, okay.
And they're not good for you.
And they're not good for you. Did you know that, Finn?
He does.
They are fine in moderation.
He knows. All right, next question from Eon Porn or Palm. What is that? RN or is that an M or RN?
You just pulled a hardcore Grande.
No, I'm looking at it's POM. I thought that was PORN. I was like, what the piss?
This is all just mental stuff from the Hookers and Blow.
Mm-hmm.
So much Eon porn.
You know what?
Eon
if you want a roster review, you can message us on the RSG Discord.
Hell no, it looks like porn.
That deserves a roster review.
No,
sorry,
like
Ranger,
porn.
this is your roster review.
That looks like porn. Oh, that's stupid lettering. All right, Eon Palm, which has its own connotation. Question: what faction is most likely? Wait, this is for teammate. We're back to the top, right? Okay. What faction is most likely to be the new Phoenix from the new tunes for next legendary character? Basla team or Prepared Tunes?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I think that
Basla with this little
I do think that there's like a whole bunch going on with the KOTOR tunes for sure, but just the release of the prepared tunes and also where Kira's just fallen in Cantina, that really screams to me she is going to be accessible and she's going to need to be accessible for something. I mean, they did gift us with Crew on that easy Cantina node, and we haven't really, he hasn't been required for anything, but it kind of feels like, Ezra was, what was he, 2-2 or 3-2 or something like that. Like, they were very, very accessible tunes for new players. And so because, EA CG is very smart to not put new players so far behind that they can never catch up with us with words to some of their squads. Maybe they don't have a CLS squad, but maybe they have a full-on Phoenix squad, which I don't have. So kind of giving them the ability to catch up and get ahead on what's new and fresh. And that's what the prepared squad feels like that to me. It was released and there wasn't an immediate apparent purpose for it. We couldn't really figure it out. We didn't know what it's all about. We're still trying to figure it out. And unfortunately, I don't know if Phoenix has a huge application in the game. I think that the Scoundrels will. I think the Prepared Squads will. But I do think that it's very fishy that Kira's in such an easy node. It feels like they're gonna that they want us to farm her. Again, crystal ball stuff, but that's my favorite part about being a player in this game, is trying to kind of guess the next step of the company. It's kind of like the game within a game, is trying to future predict and predict your roster, which is what I'm not a free to play player, but that's what strategic players do with their rosters. Is you have to look ahead. You can't always be farming to the current meta. You have to kind of look ahead and see what can you prepare for, so that you're not going to be panic farming. And Kira's dropping like crazy for me. It's been 50% drop rates for the last couple of days, which is lovely. Thank you for that.
Alrighty. Very nicely said, Team
Thank you,
next
Ranger.
question for Warrior from Contingent 33. Question: my guild's territory worth defense is all set before I could get to it. Which team is the Imperial Trooper team best to go against?
Well, it depends on what Imperial Troopers you have and what you're facing, and it depends if it's a 60 million guild or a 160 million guild. It just varies so much. But I mean, just some standardized Imperial Trooper teams or teams you can kill with Imperial Troopers is Empire-led, type teams. It can kill pretty easily, such as like a Thrawn-led team. If you run in, does really well against those teams. Especially if you've got, like a fast Stark, that kind of thing. They obviously really well against Night Sisters, and then they actually work really well against a lot of the kind of the filler teams. So like a Rogue One team or a Phoenix Squad or some of the new prepared teams, if they don't have their Zetas. There's a lot of DPS. If you're going to run the Imperial Troopers offensively in Territory Wars, everybody knows the standard protocol, right? You've got the Stark and the Veers and the Snow Trooper and the Shore Trooper, but a lot of people use Death Trooper. Take that out, use that in a different team, and get Range Trooper. And I know Range Trooper right now is only in shipments, but will be farmable very soon, probably within the next 4 weeks. He'll be farmable, and Range Trooper on offense with the guys it's absolutely sick. Is
so fun.
He's definitively better than all of them, but maybe Stark and Range and Death. I guess I don't know. The whole damn section of them is amazing. They're awesome, but Range Trooper just takes them from kind of struggling a little bit on offense as a team now, especially in the high end, to walking through almost every kind of composition. So, aside from maybe a trail lead, they can walk through most everything with Range Trooper. So gear your Range Trooper up, and when he becomes farmable, you'll have him at Gear 11 ready to go.
All right. Next question for King Felix. This is from Sea Trooper. Question: aside from Nest and Bastila, which tune released in the last few months would you gear up if you weren't building any of the full teams?
I think L337 is an interesting tank, especially with all the droids that we've been getting lately. It seems like something could happen with a possible droid leader. Range Trooper is a very good character and can go on any Empire team, but he is better in a trooper-led team. I'm trying to see what other characters we got lately. The KOTOR tunes are interesting. Zalbar has a lot of cool PvE type of stuff, but you can't use him in raids until he's at 7-star, and that's going to be a while. Let's see here. Who else did we get recently? Embo is going to be interesting, but also not farmable. I'm not impressed with young Lando. I'm not impressed with Mission or Jolie, T3. They're all kind of like fillers, and we'll see whether or not they get a a purpose here soon. But I don't know if anybody thinks any of these other marquee characters are worth it. You let me know. But I haven't really seen anything to show that.
Not really. Not for me. The baby doesn't like this question.
Yeah. Well, the baby can shut up.
Whoa!
Whoa! It's a baby.
You have to make a whole new bottle because she just finished the other bottle.
See, I like it. She knows what she wants.
Oh yeah, she wants to sleep during the day and be awake all night. That's what she wants.
Babies are so cruel.
They are.
The baby. All right, next question for Grande Pappy Patron. From KK. With the upcoming changes to mod challenges, is there a purpose for Jawas anywhere in the game?
No.
No.
At this point, the only purpose for a Jawa is in a P1 heroic AAT solo theme, and that's about it.
Yeah.
That's the only. I mean, potentially, Jawa Engineer still has a place on a secondary droid team, and potentially that's about it. So maybe Dachka and Jawa Engineer have a place. The other three have kind of lost some of their luster, whatever small amount of luster they had.
Yeah. All right. I think that was the last question. Did I miss anything, or is there one more? Let's see. Oh, we got the fun question. So, yeah. Let's see here. So we'll go ahead and do the fun little questions, and then we will wrap this up for this Jedi Academy. Man, we went through a lot of questions. Jesus. But well worth it. I hope we got to everybody's questions and answered them and give you some really great information. Fun questions. Danilo Papaya says, not really a question, but can I get a shout out for the guild I recently joined? I think without the RSG stream and crew, I probably never would have been able to join Empire Vanguard. So shout out to them. So shout out to Empire Vanguard. Very nice. Ski Trooper. Question, T-Money. Is your guild doomed now that you let Zapper in?
I will fight you for saying that. Zapper is an angel, and I adore him.
So
Zapper's
that's Canadian code.
It's the opposite of dumb.
Right. It's the no. What she's really saying in Canadian is it's not going to work out. All right, let's see.
Zapper's one of those players who's like, I'll be right back. I'm just going to go burn 10 arena battles, making sure that I've got this team down before fighting it in territory wars. It's like, okay, thanks. Like model student.
Let's see. Renovator, question for T-Money. God damn. For someone who doesn't Zeta for fleet, how does one end up with a FOTP Zeta? Oh no.
Look, acronyms elude me occasionally. We were all unanimously on board with me Zetaing my Gear 12 FOST, except that I, in my head, heard FOTP, and I do not have a Gear 12 FOST. And so I Zetaed the wrong tune. But yeah, so that means I have a Zetaed FOST.
All right.
Which I do run with my crew team, but I would probably run somebody else if I hadn't Zetaed to him. So, oh well.
All right. Well, 73 question for Warrior. When did Warrior switch his internet plan to Grande's dial-up? That's a good question.
Grande and I not only share the same birthday, but we share the same internet connection from a few thousand miles away. So,
that's how diseases spread and viruses.
Is that how Grande got access to the government internet?
Warrior,
Warrior.
Internet handler?
Truth be told, the internet I have is I'm Kyping Wi-Fi. It's like this huge Wi-Fi being broadcast off an AM tower, and it can be up to 20 megs or 20 gigs, which is great. It's pretty fast, but it drops occasionally, and so at home when I'm trying to live stream, it's causing havoc. And I love live streaming. I used to live stream once a week on Wednesday mornings, but the last 3 live streams, it started and was just like. So I haven't done it in like 3 months because I can't do that to myself or other people.
Would you like us to stream, Warren, and just have you on as a guest, and you can have your own little show?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. That's a possibility. I guess the thing with my live streaming is like I'm like, oh crap, I've got an hour right now before I have to do X. Let's do it, and then I jump on and do it. You know what I mean?
We'll get with Finn.
I do that to Ranger all the time. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm prepared for this kind of shit. All right. Chopper BZ question: who will join the new Space Force?
I think my Twinkie habit will prevent me from joining.
Yeah, I think you're disqualified. T-Money can't because she's Canadian.
The press also a member.
Oh, see? It's not wrong. Let's see here. Kazakagi too easy. Question: can EA and CG give Revan and Malik an iOS exclusive for 2 months before Droid users? That is all. Kazakagi too easy. I hate to tell you this, buddy. That ain't happening. Just the opposite, my friend. And you can blame Apple and Grande and mostly Finn. Well, all Finn. What was I kind of... It took me a while to get there, but it's back to Finn. It's always Finn. Kung Cobra. Question. Will T-Money try to poach Warrior after the stream? Will he say yes?
She already is probably trying.
Yeah.
No.
Probably. I'm thinking that's a negative, Ghost Rider.
Yeah, that's a big Megatron Batman.
I know my league and I stay within it.
That's right. Darth Hideous question: can anyone tell me why my guild leader has brain damage, and how much brain damage does he have?
His guild leader's on Dane.
Oh no!
Careful now! Oh my goodness!
Oh my god!
App.
He meant Chrome though, but that's not what he said.
Oh boy!
Oh my god!
We're all in deep trouble.
I'm not in any trouble. I did.
Sure.
All I did was read the question.
You are.
I forgot he had switched guilds. Oh my god. Well, Darth Hideous, your life as you know it is over. We will miss you. Funeral arrangements will be made, I think, on Thursday. So we'll make.
And Chrome Cobra will be the one arranging it. So good luck with that too.
So somewhere right now, Chrome Cobra's got blood coming out of his eyes and ears. He just pulled a new gun. He's like, "What? What did you say?"
He's actually visiting on Dane, so she might be like right next to him.
They're both looking at this right now, like just two fuming piles of just angry souls getting ready to kill idiots. Nah, I made that up. Let's see. Oh, we have another serious question, Finn. Why is this at the end? All right.
Because it came in a little bit late, but we're ending a little bit early, so I put it in there so we can get it answered.
Dennis Hajorth, question. Is speed secondary more important on your arena squad than any set bonus, or do you want to maximize set bonuses along and perhaps sacrifice a little speed? Great question. Really great question. Who wants to take this one?
If you look at anyone's arena team, you see their speed is super right now is always taking precedence over set bonuses. You can look at some people that'll have like a speed set, a tenacity, and a health, and it's like, what? You're just getting a speed bonus? But that's me. If you look at my mods, so I try.
You have to lead by example. You were in the military.
I try my best to do sets, but at the end of the day, it's like I need 130 speed on that character. Well, the only way to make that happen is to mishmash these mods together, and this mishmash is, of mods equals one set, not two. So that's just the way of the world right now. And speed will still be important after the new mod change. It just will be less important than it is now, but it will still be important.
Well, that's
Warrior, let me ask you this, because I know a lot of the changes that they're coming out with the mods are, I mean, they're complicating it for the advanced players a lot with the slicing and all of that, but they're really trying to get people involved a little bit more that haven't done anything with mods at the like lower or more casual levels. I don't know if you've seen kind of their basic mod stuff, but essentially they're kind of forcing the set bonuses a lot more. Like, so they'll do like the 4-piece bonus, and then they try to force that 2-piece bonus as well, which after you've done it for a while, you know it's not like optimizing any particular stat. So what do you think of the overall kind of basic level of mod, I don't know what you want to call it, functionality that they're adding that kind of lets you auto mod characters?
Well, I think it's great, and this is why if you're someone like me, you're not going to use that feature. You don't need that feature. You do that yourself, and they're going to build in tools for the advanced player, such as the search features and things like that. So I'm going to have basically SWGOH, but inside the game now, which is what I needed from the very beginning. So I'm glad this is happening. But for the majority of other players, this is going to be surprising to people that are in like an 80 million guild or higher. But there are people that are playing the game, like 800,000 that play casually, that don't really play with mods. So they're.
I totally agree with you. There are people that don't even have mods assigned that they should have assigned.
In fact, I'm doing a roster review. I was doing it last night, and I'm recording it probably sometime today. But I went into the arena team of my patron, and I'm looking at the arena team of my patron. This is their arena team, and they have a total of 7 mods on all 5 characters. That's not 7 sets. That's just 7 mods. Almost every character.
Baby Jesus.
Almost every character was blank, and this individual's out of the top 1,000 and saying, what can I do to improve? Well, like, this is the deal. I'm not going to fault that person, right? Because, I mean, they don't have, they're free to play. They don't have access to 80% of the mods as far as the mod sets. So mod sets make no sense to them. They're getting some free mods from certain events and things like that. So they throw those mods on, but then it's like it costs credits, and they're trying to develop a character, and they have to make that decision. So they just go ahead and spend their credits on the character, and mods take a back seat. That scenario is unfortunately a more common scenario than the scenario of someone like me actually taking advantage of them. That's what the whole point of this change out is so you get them, you click on it, it auto assigns for you, so now you're actually using them when you weren't before, and then you're now half as much to level up and stuff like that. So it's not going to be as big a burden. So for free to play, you can access soon. You'll be able to access any mod. You won't have to like farm Jawas for, critical damage or whatever. You can actually just get whatever you want. You'll get them easier because they have a 100% drop rate. I don't know if you remember, but they weren't like that all the time. It wasn't like that when we first started mods. I mean, has been for a while now. But so now they can farm for whatever they want. They can get a 100% drop rate. They can auto assign, and they can level up for half as much. Like, everything to make it feasible is there. And if you're not doing mods after that, it's your own damn fault at that point. You know what I mean? They will have taken away every barrier that you have other than knowledge, and the knowledge piece comes from any piece in this game, which is asking questions and then the answers you need. But the game will start to teach you patterns. When you have a tank and you say, assign, and it puts on, 3 defense sets, you'll go, oh, defense matters for tanks. And all of a sudden, you're an expert, right? You know what I mean? Like, you'll learn through patterns, and the human brain works on patterns. So I think it's all of their changes is phenomenal for the game in general, but more specifically for the actual vast majority of people that really don't engage in mods on the level that the majority of us on this call do. Because the people on this call, including the people listening, actually probably use their mods in the way they're supposed to.
Well, T-Money doesn't, but let's not talk about that. I'm sorry,
I'm right here.
I'm
right here.
I'm sorry, I didn't know you were there still, T-Money. I thought you were eating maple syrup or something. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Do you have Cracker Barrel in Canada?
Oh.
We do not have, to my knowledge, it's probably in like Toronto or something. We do not have the restaurant, to my knowledge. We do have little 1 inch by 2 inch by a 1/4 inch pieces of Cracker Barrel cheese.
Yeah,
that's like a thing, and then you
really
can buy
good.
Cracker Barrel cheese. Yeah.
The reason I was asking because I went to Cracker Barrel yesterday for breakfast, and when you order, they don't.
We should all meet up at Cracker Barrel.
I'm okay with that.
I'm down.
I do like Cracker Barrel. The only one I refuse to go to is IHOP, but that's for that whole burger nonsense.
Oh, get over it.
No, I have other places I can frequent, like Denny's and Cracker Barrel.
Well, I do love me some Denny's. That's pretty good.
But when you go to Cracker Barrel, like for the syrup, they don't give you like the little jug. They give you like these little like shot bottles, and you pour it on it, and they give you like extra ones, so then you can take them home. So I finished my pancakes yesterday, and I have an extra shot bottle of syrup.
See, there you go.
Is it real maple syrup though?
Yeah, it's good.
Ooh,
and they like keep it warm.
That's expensive.
Hot maple syrup, Lenny.
Did you see Bob got his care package?
Yes, I saw his care package.
The load of calories from Canada.
Yeah.
Hey, I got my crocheted Zeta.
Did you?
Yes.
Yeah,
the Biff was sending those out.
Awesome. And she wrote me a little hand thank you note, and the hand thank you note was almost cooler than the crocheted Zeta. Not even kidding.
I said, Grande, don't ever call me, write me, or contact me again.
It said I know you have. It says I know you have my address now, but I'm not looking for a stalker. Thank you. No, it was really sweet. She did a great job with that. So anybody who is looking for your items from the charity stream, I'm sure most of them are on their way, if not already sent. Mm-hmm. But it was super cool to get that in the mail.
Yeah, again, big shout out to everybody for all that they did for that, that charity stream. We are going to do that next year too. You bet your sweet ass we are. We're going to keep doing stuff like that. But not consistently because it's a lot of work, and me and Finn can only stay up once a day like that when the moon is right.
Once a day.
Oh, well,
I'm an old man.
Listen, up that late is I spent my 3-4 days up at a time in combat situations and training and all that other happy horse shit. I'm not doing it anymore. All right, so that is our show for today.
Do it for the kids, Ranger.
I mean, I love kids. I just can't eat a whole one. I mean, I guess I could.
No, do it for Felix's kids. Go over there and take care of his kids so he can sleep.
Yeah, I would do that. I'd babysit. Get old Uncle Ranger over there. But then I'd have to go back to Fort Campbell. No, I'm not sorry.
Your wife has to come up with a good nickname for Ranger so the baby can start calling him stuff. Call him Poopy Head. Tell your wife to call Ranger Poopy Head.
Ain't gonna bother me, Finn. Sorry.
How about Org Eater?
Yes.
Supposed to love a Ranger.
Good. All right. So we're gonna wrap up. So this is where we let everybody pimp their stuff. Warrior, where can the folks check you out at, my friend?
They can find me on YouTube at Warrior Presents, or on Twitter at Warrior Present, or they can find me on the Facebook page. And I've got generalized content on everything. I don't specialize in any one particular thing, but I do love my arena. And I do have a couple of videos in the works. In fact, I'm working on a video for Gear 12 Plus pieces because those are going to be available to purchase. And because they're available to purchase in a couple of packs, there's going to be a lot of people deciding, that's hard to get stuff, including myself. So we're going to buy it, and then you're going to say, well, now who do I put it on to get the best bang for your buck? And so I'm going to go over it's like the top 10 characters that you should be considering for those Gear 12 Plus pieces, and that video should be coming out. I'm working on it now, so hopefully I'll have it out in the next couple of days.
Nice. So go check his channel out. All right, next up is the Canadian Communist herself, Team Money. Where can folks check you out?
Yes, up in my socialist paradise. We recently did get internet, and I'm in a few different places. This morning, I'm a regular on the Jedi Academy, and tonight on RSG Mature, we have a lot of fun and party. And hopefully, we don't do character configurations for D&D again.
People loved it. Shut up, Team Money.
So I will be there tonight. Very excited to party with you guys. I haven't partied with you in a little bit. And then on Thursday nights, League of Extraordinary Nerf Herders, which is an 18-plus channel. And we have a lot of fun on there. It's kind of this weird balance between, it's kind of like a combination between Jedi Academy and Saturday nights. It gets weird, and it's also can get informative. So there. And then I have a new channel that Good Old Maurice and I started a few months ago that's growing. We're encroaching in or approaching 3,000 subs at the moment, called Operation Metaverse. And we have a new live stream on Tuesday nights at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And our goal is for every live stream to release a new and kind of, hopefully the intention is whenever we can to have it be a little meta pushing, shifting, changing video that kind of challenges a popular team in Territory Wars or Arena. And this last week we released a video that basically it turns Rey from being a squad that Night Sisters eat to being a squad that can kill the Night Sisters and holds really well on defense and Territory Wars. So I'm super excited about that. And and I'm working Warrior. I lost the video and all the changes that I did, and so I had to go back and redo it. So that's going to be coming out today. We did an interview with Warrior last week, released some of that on the live stream, and then I'm going to release the full version of it, which is about half an hour today.
All right. King Felix, anybody you want to shout out?
Shout out to the Bravehearts, my guild. We got local RSG people in there. Shadowvale and MJ recently joined. Going into Territory Wars here in a couple hours, trying to put up another W. And also RSG, my home on Saturday mornings.
Very nice, very nice. Dr. Finn, if you could wrap us up, please, because my voice is going quickly.
All right. So thank you all for watching Jedi Academy. This is the Reality Skewed Gamers channel. We do this stream on Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time with a great panel like you saw here today. And we also have our flagship stream, which we do on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, where we go through the news and notes of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes from the past week and give you our opinions on different things coming into the game to help you prepare and be ready for when changes hit the game. We also do a lunch stream at 12 p.m. Eastern Time on weekdays, on working days. So if it's a holiday, don't expect us to be there. But Monday through Fridays, 12 p.m. Eastern Time for about an hour, where we just try to entertain you during your lunch hour. And we do some roster reviews, we do some news, we just have fun during that time. So hope you guys can check us out for that. We do have the new Patreon as a result of what you guys have requested. And so we have the Patreon up. Yesterday, we did our Tits McVenom roster review for our purple and gold patrons. So thank you all for those that were supporting it, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And next one will be in September. So if you guys want to get access to that, make sure you become a purple or gold patron. All the details are on the Patreon site, which is listed in the description below. I think that's it. Oh, and make sure to give everybody a thumbs up. Visit everyone's page. The link to everyone's page here is listed in the below. So make sure you go there, hit subscribe on all of our channels. Make sure you hit the bells on all of our channels so you'll get notifications when we put out our awesome content. And give everybody a thumbs up. And if you have the time, go through everybody's old videos and give them a thumbs up too.
All right. So that's it for us tonight. Or for today. Everyone have a great rest of the day. We'll catch you out when we catch you. So on behalf of myself and our awesome panel, thanks everybody for stopping by, and we will holler at you when we see you. Peace.